Dylan Doobie here. What's the play today? Well, today it's all about getting started. Even if you don't know what exactly you're going to do or how it's going to turn out, the most important thing is to start. At least that is for me, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to grab some pages out of a journal that have had a start to them already, and I'm just going to see where they take me. It might be someplace wonderful, or it might be an oops, an outstanding opportunity presenting suddenly. Don't know, so come and join me and see what happens. Well, here's what I started with today. Now, this is an art journal page that I started in another Let's Play video that was all about hoarding supplies and how to force myself to use them up. And because I was in a frenzy to kind of use up stuff, it meant it wasn't perfect right away. Yeah, an oops. And what you saw me do here was just simply move something around by putting it where I want it now. Luckily, I applied it with double-sided tape, so it was pretty easy to rip up and stick in a new spot. So now what I want to do is put some color on this because there's way too much white space on this for me. So what kind of color am I going to add? Well, I'm going to grab what's within reach and I'm going to use that. So I grabbed the Fantastics and the all-purpose inks. Now what these are, if you've never used them before, are basically like firm foam markers, but it's not, it's just the foam part, and then you've got little bottles of ink to use with them. So what I'm going to do is actually dip each one of the little Fantastics into the color that I have with it, and then it'll act like an extremely juicy marker so I can get lots and lots of color on there. Now keep in mind, I have no plan other than start using something, start doing something to this page, start putting some color on there. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just putting some yellow on there, and you'll see how I kind of decide, should I color the other one? Should I not color the other one? And you know what? I decided, nah, not going to color that one. I'm just going to focus on the top one right now. So as I add more color around that top building, putting some orange in there in between those bright yellow columns, a little bit of color on that roof, that building is making me so very happy now compared to the way it was just that neutral stone color. Gotta put the rainbow on this for me to be happy. Now, as much as I'm loving how this one's looking, there's still a lot of white space left around here, so I need to do something about that. Now, the inks that I'm using are wonderful and vibrant, but they're also translucent. So if I want something more opaque, I'm going to need to bring in paint. So I have got a deep turquoise and heavy body paint, and I know that these were travel stickers from two very wonderful locations in the world, so what I'm about to do, please don't take personally Great Britain, because really, I'm just loving the shape of this, so I'm going to cover up a whole bunch of stuff here. And as I'm playing with the paint, this is about the time that I fully get into the play, where I'm starting to really feel, well, playful. And so once I've got this color on, I'm going to bring in another color because I want to involve the entire rainbow in today. So I've got some bright green, very opaque paint here. It's a heavy body. So I'm going to put that in some places, but to have it just there and nowhere else, I'll put it over here. And I got to tell you, I don't like it over there. Oops. Outstanding opportunity presenting suddenly when you don't like how it turns out. I've got some yellow paint there. That's from the Deco Media Fluid. And I am just smearing a whole bunch of bright, happy yellow. I was missing that yellow from when I started the columns over on the Athens stuff. But I really, really don't like that lime green over on the left-hand side. So after I get this little bit of yellow here, I am going to try and use the yellow to see if that makes me happier with the green. By putting little bits of the yellow over there, will that make me love the green over there? No, still not liking that green over there at all. But that's okay. That just means I need to put something else on top of it. So I'm going to bring in some white heavy body paint, and this way I can try and cover up a bunch of that green. And I'm kind of enjoying the white, and I started to debate, do I want to put it on the other side on that yellow? And yeah, changed my mind. Don't want it over there. That yellow is just gorgeous the way it is. Now, as long as I have the white out, well, I just started to keep playing around here and there, and yep, you can tell there was some yellow paint on my brush too. Well, now it's time to bring in, yes, more paint. So I've got all that white space now, and you know me, I've got to put some kind of color on top of it. So I'm going to smear around some color there, and at this point, I'm starting to really be happy with the green. With just a little bit of it peeking out, so not a lot. Apparently, I was a little too heavy-handed with it the first time, but I'm loving how it's starting to bury back between the layers. But now I need to create something in that yellow space that's really calling to me, so I grabbed a stencil. Now I don't know exactly what's going on in my head as to why I think there are fish swimming across this page with this fun stencil from StencilGirl Products, but yep, that's what I'm seeing. Now, where am I getting the paint to stencil these fish? Well, from the other page, because I kind of have a lot of paint over there, which is actually kind of an understatement. I have a plethora of paint piling up on that side. And then as long as I have the cosmetic sponge out, I might as well see about smearing some of that paint around with that. So I'm just pouncing and playing and moving paint around. And before I knew it, as I was doing this, I was covering up the colorful building from the beginning of the video. Who would have guessed that that was going to be covered up, and I was actually going to be super happy with how it looks covered up. And then it hit me. I can give all these fish little eyeballs using the world's smallest tipped brush called a spotter brush, which I ordered by accident because I meant to order something else, and now I actually get to use this little spotter brush. And yes, using that little brush did completely and totally make my day. For some reason, that was the absolute highlight of this play today. While I was having such fun with that little brush, I decided let's use that itty bitty little spotter brush to do a little bit of scribble journaling with paint. And next time I have the urge to scribble journal with paint, I'm not going to grab a spotter brush. This brush did not work very well for this, but then again I have a sneaky suspicion it also wasn't ever meant to do stuff like this. Well, thanks so much for joining me for today's play. If you've been enjoying this video, I'd so appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And of course, you know I'd really be grateful if you shared this with somebody that you think could use a little more play in their day. Now, what if you want more play right now? Even though this video is coming to an end, there's lots of play waiting for you on my blog at acolorfuljourney.com with the free newsletter, which has a downloadable video and PDF waiting for you, and of course, YouTube, where I have a couple hundred videos for you to choose from. Thanks so much for letting me be a part of your colorful journey.